Hey guys, welcome back to another fly tying tips. Today I'm going to examine the contents of this Superfly Marabou. I've got a project coming up where I need a custom color dyed. So this is one that isn't available easily in any of the commercial packages, and so I'm just going to show you what I do to go through and sort my Marabou. And one thing I always do is make sure that I've got some white materials on hand, just in case I need to do some custom dyeing. So this is a hot half-ounce pack. That's about 14 grams. There's quite a few feathers in here, and we'll go through and I'm going to just show you the differences in what I'm looking for. So I'm going to find basically one of the perfect feathers here. So this one has a bit of a thick stem, but on the top end it's very flexible, and this will do fine for wrapping, palmering. So I only use about from here up on the feather for palmering. So that's getting a little bit on the thick side, but the bottom part here, this can be used for, you can just basically peel that off and use that for different things like bellies or wings. So we'll start stacking those over here. So this one here, again, it's got a bit of a thicker stem on the bottom, but if I'm going to use that as a tail or palmered marabou, that's totally fine. Now let me see if I can find a thicker one, something that I'm going to strictly use for so this one here, you can see this here, the top of the feather isn't quite marabou. That gets into what's commonly sold as like turkey flats. So the stem on this is still not too bad through this, but it's not really great. So I would put this in my woolly bugger pile of marabou. So this is stuff that I'm going to strictly use for peeling off, stacking that on the table. I might put that in a dubbing loop if I need it, but this thick stem at the bottom definitely isn't going to be great for wrapping. The top of the stem still not too bad. Like in a pinch I could use it, but the fibers are a little bit on the short side, so we're going to put this in our secondary pile. So I'm just going to set this to a time lapse. If you have any questions, feel free to put them in the comments below, and I'll give you a count of the feathers at the end, just to give you an idea of how many we get in a half-ounce package of the Superfly Marabou. Alright, let's get going. Alright, so on a streamer such as this, this is where I take my seconds. This is a feather, it's got a broken tip, it's got a kind of a short side here. It's got a few okay fibers on the side, but this side here is actually perfectly fine. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to roll this. So what I mean by rolling is just peeling that off the stem, and then I fold it over, peel a little bit more off, and I fold it over, peel a little bit more, fold it, until I got all of it off the stem. And then I usually just clip off the bottom just to make it a little bit easier to work with. And we'll measure that out. And we'll just tie that on there. Come up and clip that. But that's a good way not to waste a perfect feather, but you still get a nice finished wing for a fly. Or a belly if you're tying something else. So for the cherry feathers, the ones with the nice thin stems, long flowing fibers, these ones are perfect for wrapping. So they might still have some good fibers on the bottom. And one thing that I do with those is I do take them off, and you could save those. And just moisten them a little bit and they'll sit as a clump. My preference is to use these first, and then you're left with this feather, and you can store it like this. But now you've got this perfect feather, and you just pull back the fibers, moisten that tip, just a couple wraps just to secure that, fold it back. And then here's where we just take the scissors and fold that feather. And we have a nice full wrap on there. You just have to stroke back your feathers with each wrap and make sure that the stem is spiraling forward and not overlapping itself. You get a few other problems in there. Alright, so there we go. Here's our kind of grade 2 feathers. I'll probably still dye those. Got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So we have 19 secondary feathers that are not bad quality. These will still be great for tails and different applications. They're just not kind of the cherry feathers that I'm looking for doing the bulk of my marabou work, which is palmering. But I'm going to dye these up separately from this other pile here, just so that they don't get mixed up. And I just wanted to let you see how much waste there was in the actual package of marabou. That's pretty good as far as marabou goes. I've had some packages that I've bought before from some of the major brands, not the Superfly, but some of the other ones that have been pretty much just pure garbage that I've only gotten like 3 or 4 usable feathers out of. Alright, so now I'm going to count these ones up. Here we go. Alright, so 60 feathers, so that's about 80 feathers in that package. That's not a bad haul. I'm going to need to do another package to get the amount that I need for my order. I think I need to do about 6 dozen. So that's 60, 72 feathers that I'll need. So in the next video I'm going to show you how I go about dyeing these feathers. So marabou's pretty easy to dye. Takes on the dye fairly quickly. I've used a bunch of different dyeing processes over the years, and I'm just going to show you an easy one that's pretty accessible for everybody, just using a RIT dye. Now, it's probably not the most ideal dye to use for dyeing feathers, but it works fairly well and it holds its color well. I'll show you that in the next video, and until then, hope you enjoyed watching my sorting process. Thanks for watching. Hey fly tyers, thanks for stopping by and watching my fly tying videos. Make sure you're subscribed and hit that bell icon to get notified on the latest fly patterns, tips, and reviews. If you've enjoyed the video, hit that like button and post a comment below. If you'd like to support the content on the channel and get rewarded, you can visit my Patreon page. Until next time, this is Darren saying, keep a hook in your vise. Cheers!